Hey guys, so it's me Alexis and welcome to my astrology channel. It's been a long while since I've been on this channel. You know, I'm kind of busy, I have school, and I also have shitty time management, but like that's besides the point. Anyways, I'm back for now. I hope to stay on this channel because I really want to post a lot of videos, but again, I'm like really busy. But anyways, I have a video right now, and today I want to talk about controversies in astrology. I think that's gonna be the title of my new series that I'm launching right now. It's like a really boring title, but it's okay, it gets the job done. So basically, what I'm going to be doing on this series is basically talk about different controversies seen in the astrological community. Because there's a lot of controversy, there's a lot of debate, and I can go on and on and on. And you know, debates are interesting and I like to talk about it. So what I'm going to be talking about today specifically is going to be the cusp. So the concept of the cusp in astrology, it's very interesting. So to clarify, I'm not going to be talking about the cusp like, you know, meaning like the start of a house. So I'm not going to be talking about statements where people go, oh hey, the cusp of my 7th house is ruled by Aries. Like, I'm not going to talk about that. I'm going to be talking about the people that go, hey, I'm an Aries Taurus cusp. Like, I'm going to be talking about that. So the cusp is a very complicated issue, and I kind of want to dissect it, you know, talk about the two popular viewpoints with the cusp argument, and then, you know, find the source of why the argument is so debatable and so confusing. And then I'm gonna have my own take on it. You can either take that or you can leave it. So with that being said, like, this video is, you know, it's hopefully going to be educational, but like it's also going to be slightly opinionated. So like, here's your warning now, like you don't have to take what I have to say, like it's, you know, have your own opinion, like stuff like that. I think there's two popular views of the cusp in astrology. You're gonna have people that say that cusps, like, they exist within one planet. So these are the people that are going to say, hey, I am an Aries Taurus cusp, like that's my sun sign. I am both an Aries and a Taurus. That's the first side of the argument. Now the second argument is going to be people that are like, no, that's not right. You can only have your sun sign in one sign. You can't be an Aries and a Taurus at the same time. You're either one or the other. So that's the other side. So there's people that are arguing for both signs, and then there's people that are arguing for only one sign. Now some variations of the second argument, like a lot of people say like, oh, you know, cusps, they don't even exist. Like, you know, it can only be one thing. Like, you know, like there's no way to be two things, you know? And I think that's like an extreme view of the other argument, but I think these are the two basic arguments of this issue. So think what you want. You can be on these sides. You know, hopefully through this video, like you'll either change sides or stay on your side, whatever. Okay, but that's besides the point because I'm going to share my opinion. So my personal stance is like, I'm kind of like stuck in the middle. Like, here are the two arguments. I'm like stuck right here because, you know, I won't deny that like you can feel, you know, a lot of energies in your chart. But, you know, my argument is that you can feel multiple energies in your chart, but you just have to be very careful in how you state it. So I don't want to say that cusps like don't exist because they do. It's just like how it's stated needs to be corrected. So I don't know if you guys have ever drawn your own natal chart, but like when you draw it, you're gonna have the circle, you have the house cusps, and then, you know, now's the part where you have to put your planets down. If you ever draw your natal chart and you're deciding, you know, where to put your sun, like, you know, you're trying to draw your sun down, you only realize that like your sun can only be in one place. And this one place is only gonna be one sign at 1 degree at 1 minute. It's not gonna be like multiple signs at 1 minute because the sun is a singular object, and since it's a singular object, it's going to be placed at a singular definite location. For example, my sun can either be 0 degrees Aries or 29 degrees Pisces. Like there's no in between Pisces and Aries. It's either one or the other. That's why I don't really agree with the first side of the argument saying that you can be two signs at the same time. Like, I will agree and say that you can feel both energies in your chart. It's just that you can't specify into one planet. If you really wanted to argue that you can be two signs at the same time, you're going to need 2 planets. Like 1 planet, 1 sign. Like that's the correlation. Like if the person wanted to argue that you can be 2 signs at the same time, like the only possible way to do that is to have 2 suns instead of 1. And like we already have 1 sun, we don't need 1 more, we're all gonna die. So that's my argument against the first side. But like I also want to argue against the other side because like cusps, like they do exist. Like there are indicators in your chart where you can feel blended tendencies. For example, like you can have a planet at 29 degrees. When your planet is at 29 degrees, it's a little special. It's called the anaretic degree. And when your planet is in this degree, you feel different blends of like the neighboring signs meshing together into the planet. The anaretic degree is very important because, you know, for the native, they can feel like 2 ends of the other signs like tugging together at the planet. For example, like if I had my moon at 29 degrees Taurus, and with that in mind, like I have Gemini energies like pulling me in, and then like other Taurus energies pulling me also. Like there's like this little fluctuation between being a Gemini moon and a Taurus moon. Like you're still a Taurus moon, like don't get me wrong, like you're still a Taurus moon at the end of the day. But since your moon is so close to the next sign, like I don't see why like you can't feel an overlap of energies. Because if you think about it in the natal chart, all the energies, they're like a gradient. It's not very strict and very coherent. And I feel like the expression of the planet shouldn't be that way. So when it comes to planets in 29 degrees, I do believe that there is mixed expressions. Just because like, you know, there's not a strict wall between one sign and another. But I will be strict in saying that the planet can only be in one sign. So that's basically my argument. My argument is that you can't have one planet in 2 signs. Like that's just not possible. You need 1 sign in 1 location. And that 1 location is usually only 1 sign with a specific degree and a specific minute. Like you have to look specifically at the chart where it is. That's why I feel like degrees are really important in this argument. My second point is that cusp energies do exist. There is an overlap of energies. And my argument would be that like the energies are not so strict. Like the reason why we, you know, objectively separate the signs in the chart is because it's for a mental understanding, but in real life, like you're not gonna look at someone and be like, wow, that is your Taurus moon at 29 degrees. Like it's not gonna be that specific. Like when you first meet someone, you're gonna look at them and be like, oh, there's a mixture of energies. I'm not quite sure what I'm seeing, but I'm seeing something. And it's most definitely a mixture. So I feel like to say that cusps don't exist and that like the energies are very separated is just not the right way to go, because, you know, if you look in real life, everything's just a mix of things. Life is confusing, and, you know, that's why we have things like astrology. We have things like astrology to, you know, make sense of the chaos that we're seeing, and we put objectivity into that so that we can make sense for ourselves, but in reality, it's just a bunch of chaos. But anyways, that's my video on the cusp and astrology. If you guys have any other controversial topics that you guys want me to talk about, comment below. I'm not gonna do like a voting system this time because like I don't think I know that much in astrology, and I'm only gonna talk about topics where I feel like I have a very solid view on. Like I'm not gonna talk about something where like I'm not quite sure about yet. But you know, if you guys do give me a topic where like I'm not quite sure about, I'll definitely think about it, because there are a lot of topics in astrology that I'm not quite solid on yet, but looking at your comment will make me really think about it. So yeah, that's basically it. Thank you for watching. See you guys next week, or whenever I see you guys. Bye! Okay, so I forgot to bring in one more view, and I want to say this because this argument has been in my head and I just forgot to say it. But anyways, you know, like I said, you can't have your sun in 2 signs. Like you can't be a Pisces Aries cusp, but you can feel Pisces Aries energy in your chart. And you can feel this with the anaretic degree in your chart, but there's another way where you can feel these neighboring energies. What I'm gonna say is that, you know, with your sun sign, let's say that you're an Aries sun. With your Mercury and Venus, these 2 planets are always going to be either 1 sign away or 2 signs away. With Mercury, it can only be 1 sign, and then Venus is 2. If I'm wrong, then oops. But the point of the fact is that Mercury and Venus are always going to be pretty close to your sun sign. And with that being said, neighboring energies are possible. So for instance, let's say that I'm an Aries sun and I have a Pisces Mercury. So with that being said, I have Aries energy and Pisces energy. And with that in mind, there's that neighboring energy thing going on. A lot of people who argue for having two signs at the same time, they're definitely feeling that blend of energies, but it's just that there's other elements in the chart that can explain that. And just stating that their sun sign is the same, it has two signs, is just not the way to go. So my argument is that if you feel other blending energies in your natal chart, it's not because your sun has two signs in it. It's because you have other planets that could possibly be in those neighboring signs. And most likely it's going to be Mercury and Venus. It can also be your other planets, but like it's most likely going to be Mercury and Venus. So yeah, that's my last point. Just wanted to say that. Bye!